everybody. Here looking at the Rat's Nest Accords back here beside the Mid-Tower Lux Black Max. And in that Rat's Nest Accords you can see two magicJack Plus dongles. One is for me, one is for my mom and dad. They have officially switched from their Time Warner home phone to magicJack Plus. And this video is going to be a test with magicJack Plus, not only by voice but also by fax. See, the thing is, on some videos that I make regarding magicJack versus competitors, for example BasicTalk, I've been getting comments, from people saying, "Oh, magicJack sucks, magicJack is awful, don't get magicJack," and get this, they're referring to magicJack, not magicJack Plus or magicJack Go. Many of these people who post these comments, they're voicing their opinions and their experiences. And usually, I must say that if you're using a USB magicJack, the first gen, I recommend you upgrade from it to at least a magicJack Plus, because the first gen magicJack, while it did work okay for me, it was not the best. I mean, it has to be piggyback to your computer, and your computer's performance and your configuration determine your magicJack performance back then. But the magicJack Plus, you have a simple system on a chip device that plugs straight into Ethernet, bypassing the computer altogether. And ever since magicJack released the magicJack Plus and made where you can use the device without a computer, service has improved dramatically. So for those out there who have had bad experiences with magicJack, I just want to show you guys that you can have a good experience with magicJack provided you have the proper setup. Now, of course, it requires good internet access, and it pretty much requires a magicJack Plus or newer. So I'm going to, like I mentioned, I'm going to do some tests here. I'm going to do a magicJack to magicJack voice test, and one let's call the other, and let you listen to both phones. And then I'm going to do some faxing tests, because obviously, if you can't fax, if you can fax with magicJack Plus, it's kind of obvious that the service is working quite well, because faxing over VoIP is already, tricky enough as it is. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to begin this voice test by calling the other magicJack Plus phone from mine. And then what I'll do is I'll leave the room and go to a different room and shut the door and everything. So that way you can it'll actually be just like a regular phone conversation. If I didn't mention before, you're going to hear some noise from these cordless phones. And it's something you don't actually hear in person. This is something that the camera picks up. I've tried to alleviate that somewhat by building a small little inductor in my microphone extension lead and turning on the T-coil settings on the phone. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, everybody. Now I'm in the other room, and you can actually hear for yourself how magicJack Plus sounds when you're talking from magicJack Plus to magicJack Plus. This is exactly the same way it sounds when you're talking to a non-magicJack Plus customer from magicJack Plus. Anyways, you can hear it sounds like a regular phone. And for many of you guys out there that use BasicTalk, it probably sounds about the same as a BasicTalk phone. Now, the biggest difference you'll see there is the difference in the bill. BasicTalk is $9.99 a month every month, but magicJack is less than $3 a month every month. So, basically magicJack Plus or magicJack Go, whichever one you get, is like $35 a year. And if you buy the device new from Walmart, the magicJack Go is $59.95 and includes your first year of service. All that kind of stuff. But anyways, if you're using an old-fashioned magicJack, or you've used the first-gen magicJack before and had a bad experience with it, it's simply because the first-gen magicJack was, the very first-gen device. it required a computer to work, and it relied on your computer to, you know, work like it's supposed to. If your computer's performance wasn't very good, or if you didn't have everything set up properly, you're going to have some issues with your phone service. Because basically the magicJack, all it does is it just takes, it's basically an analog telephone adapter, or better yet, in this case, a USB phone adapter. And your computer just pretty much does everything else. So anyways, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory there why the original magicJack had many issues with service quality. So now I'm going to switch phones.
Now with this phone here, you're probably going to hear a bit more noise. But now I'm going to call from this phone, which is my mom and dad's magicJack Plus, to my phone, which is my magicJack Plus.
Okay everybody, now I'm speaking from the other phone, pretty much in reverse. And as you can hear, it sounds just like a regular phone. And I mean, the biggest difference, you know, in the services will be probably the difference in the bill. I mean, if you purchase a magicJack Plus or a magicJack Go and you have a good internet connection, you should be good to go. And as you can hear, I mean, it sounds, you know, loud and clear like a regular phone. So anyways, now we'll go ahead and move on to the fax testing.
Okay everybody, in this portion of the video, I'm going to be doing some fax testing using magicJack Plus. And this particular test is going to be magicJack Plus to magicJack Plus. I'm going to send this Microsoft Word document from this system to the Black Mac using fax. The Mentarlux Black Max is hooked up to the other magicJack Plus. So I'm going to start out by using default settings, you know, default speed, that kind of stuff. And now when you use default settings, there's a chance that you may end up having issues. Things usually work better when you set your speed down to like 9600 baud. That's the case with pretty much any voice over IP service. Because what you're doing is you're trying to cram an analog signal over a digital phone service. You know, fax is an analog thing. I mean, it's back from the days when, you know, you had your plain old telephone service, which is, you know, analog telephone service. But nowadays with voice over IP service, things are a little bit different. So anyways, let's go and get started. I'm going to say new fax. I think I already did. Let me see. I already did. I'm going to attach this file. I'm going to put in the phone number. Now I don't want you guys dialing these phone numbers either. That's why I got blurred out for a moment. I'm going to move the camera down just a bit. Try not to include the phone number because I know how some of you guys are. I have had a few occasions where people tried to call me from seeing my number on YouTube. We're going to call the subject of this, let's see, test fax. Now this fax has like, I don't know, I think either 5 or 6 pages. So now I'm going to do preview. Basically, when this fax will scan right now, is taking the file and it's going to make a fax out of it. That's pretty much how it's going to look. Now I'm going to send it, and I have to run into the other room and answer answer it on the other computer. Okay, I gotta set up a few things. You know, it's all this crap. Area code, all that stuff. First time I've faxed since I reinstalled Windows on this thing. Say okay. Okay. Now it's going to send that fax. Okay, it's answered the call. Sending page 1 of 5. Now, as I mentioned, I have not turned down any speed settings, so if it fails, it will not surprise me. I mentioned before in comments that I didn't have any issues at all with faxing. Rarely ever do with magicJack Plus. We're already sending page 2 of 5. But it's ripping right through it. A lot of times, if you have any issues with faxing with magicJack Plus, or any VoIP service for that matter, the recipient may have error correction turned on. Well, sometimes it can be on their end, I've seen. Already up to page 3. I have noticed that, page 4. I've noticed with magicJack Plus, faxing is faster. And typically that means the call quality is much better. So, for you guys out there who complain about your poor service quality with standard magicJack, you know, I faxed with both magicJack and magicJack Plus. And my experience with magicJack was really hit or miss. I had lots of failures with standard magicJack, the USB device. But with magicJack Plus, it works very well. See, we're up to page 5 of 5. I mean, it's just ripping right through this. Now, I'm curious to see how the document turned out. I'm curious to see if there's any errors in the document. See, remote fax machine did not respond in time. But let's go have a look at it. I may have to dial down the settings just a hair bit. It says we received a new fax. But here's how the fax looks. It looks pretty clear to me. I'm not seeing much of any problems here. Okay, it did have some problems on this page here, so we're going to redo this test. Okay, what I did was I took the other magicJack Plus, plugged it into a computer, and I went into the magicJack software and set the volume controls where they should be. They were like really low, so I moved them up to maximum. Now I don't even know if that makes a difference when it's plugged into the router or not, but I found in the past that adjusting volume settings and of course setting your modem down to 9600 baud makes a big difference. So let's go and try this one more time. Successful. Now let's go ahead and look at the resulting fax. So apparently doing those changes did make a difference. Now let's look at the fax. See if we see any errors in it. Tiny little spot there. Tiny little spot there. Yeah, this is a big fax I sent to YouTube a few times. So basically, in a few spots you may see a line or two that's not correct. Other than that, fax turned out good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it back to the magicJack Plus. And yeah, my magicJack Plus. So I'm going to set the camera in there and I'm going to answer it. You know, I'm going to answer it from in there, obviously. So I'm going to clear out this list. And I'm going to send the fax back. There are 6 pages in this one because there's a header page because I'm replying back. It just has the forward to information pretty much. That was successful. Here is the reply fax. So basically we have exactly the same thing that I sent. And of course those lines are still there because they were in the previous fax. The fax is readable. So anyways, that comes to show that when you properly configure your magicJack Plus, you can fax over it. Basically, if you're going to fax over magicJack Plus or any VoIP service, I'm going to be referencing to magicJack in this video, you need to set your modem to 9600 baud. Slow it down a little bit. That helps quite a bit. And also, you need to take your magicJack Plus or magicJack Go device, plug it into the USB port on the computer to launch the magicJack software. And you go into the software, click on menu, and you should see an option for volume. You'll need, and by default, the software shows the the mic volume and the speaker volume to be pretty low, and you need to max those out from the software. And then you unplug your magicJack Plus or Go device, return it to its place at the router, and then you should be able to fax just fine. As you saw the first time I tried to send out, it failed. Now it was before I changed the volume settings, but after that, it sent just fine and it received just fine. So anyways, for those of you out there who have had a bad experience with magicJack, the old-fashioned magicJack, it comes to show that I guess you just had a bad experience. But the service can work very well if you properly configure it with a modern device. I mean, magicJack no longer makes or sells the original USB dongle. I mean, they quit that like two years ago. Obviously, it's an outdated device, and they've got much more modern standards for their devices. But anyways, I think this makes a good test of magicJack Plus, for both voice and for faxing. Anyways, I had any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.